All right, babe. It is time for episode 10 of the Strawberry Milk
Double
Podcast's quick
digits.
sip review. Number 10, man. And it makes sense that for such a special occasion, we give them a double feature.
And it's even better because we get to record it twice.
Oh, what?
The audio?
Yes.
The corruption.
Oh, okay. I was like, what do you mean recorded twice? I was like, it's not a double
I
feature. I was like, what's going on? Yeah, I'm the stupid one. But yeah, hitting double digits. We're hitting y'all with the Barbenheimer double feature review. Now, we're a week late. I'm not, I ain't even going to hold y'all on this. We have been trying to record this for like a week now. And I don't know what was going on with our audio. It was corrupting. There was always something going on like halfway on like the playback. And I had to uninstall and reinstall, clear a bunch of shit. But we got it going. I'm hoping that this works because if not, I'm going to pull what's left of my hair out.
I mean, it'd be kind of funny.
It would be kind of funny, but then I'd be bald. I'd have to
That would not be
bald
funny.
myself.
That would not be funny.
Although I don't know why I said what's left of my hair.
I don't either. You have a lot of hair.
I do. I got a lot of fucking hair, which you just beautifully braided for me, my
I
love.
did.
But anyway,
I did
enough
braid it.
pleasantries.
Oh, okay, fine.
The people are here for one thing and one thing only, and
Ricotta
it's to hear.
stuffed pasta shells.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be eating later, man. I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, we're here to talk to you about two of, honestly, in my opinion, these are the two heaviest hitting movies for this year.
Yeah, I'd
Like
say so.
TNMT, I'm looking forward to, but I know it's not going to,
I'm
be
looking
breaking
forward
any
to the Ballad
cinematic
of
things.
Songbirds
That
and
as well,
Snakes.
that's going to be a big one. But these two movies right here, I think we've been looking forward to these since they got announced, man.
Yeah, especially Barbie.
Right. So without further ado, here, right? Barbie. Possibly this
We
honestly,
saw Barbie
I would
first
say,
because we're not monsters.
we saw Barbie first. No, we were gonna see Oppenheimer first and then Barbie to end on good vibes, but we just said fuck it, we want to see Barbie, right? The runtime of this comes in at 1 hour and 54 minutes. It is a comedy
Nice and
slash
short.
drama.
Nice and short. I love it.
Yeah, no, honestly, this thing flows well.
I
Like
miss short movies.
it has everything a longer movie would have without the runtime, right? July 21st, 2023 is when this movie came out. Some of my notes obviously need to be updated, but I don't think the ratings would have changed pretty much, right? But we do have the updated numbers for its profits. So Barbie sits at a 6.6 on IMDb. Like I said, this is week-old notes, right? And that's also one of the challenges of doing
quick reviews.
Yeah, quick reviews on newer movies is that we don't have like the solid numbers, you know what I mean? Because we haven't really done like a new.
They aren't done yet.
Yeah, like we haven't really done like a new movie, and Barbie is on track to earn $1 billion,
As
right?
it should. Fuck them.
But like I said, 6.6 on IMDb. It's got a Rotten Tomatoes critic rating of 89%.
That's
with
more like
a
it.
Audience score of 86%. And
That's
at the
more
time
like
that I
it.
wrote this, it was at 5,000 reviews. Obviously, those reviews have gone up. I couldn't get an exact number for the budget. It is reportedly between 128 to 145 million. Right.
Jesus Christ.
At the time that I wrote this, which was like 2 days after we saw it, $549.8 million, but now that is at 811.
Let's fucking go.
And like we said earlier,
eat them up.
it is on track to earn $1
Eat
billion.
Up. This is what I love to see.
This movie's gonna have Kanye money.
It is.
Bezos money.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my god. Beyonce, no, not Beyonce, my Riri money.
Riri money.
Oh my god. Anyway, this movie, right, directed by Greta Gerwig, who you might know from Nights and Weekends in 2008, Lady Bird in 2017, the reimagination of Little Women in 2019, and directing the new Snow White that's coming out in 2024. She also wrote this movie. I think she had one other cohort on there, but I cannot remember. But anyway, this is the biggest opening. The biggest opening. This is one of the biggest openings of a movie ever.
Yeah.
And this is the biggest opening for a female director.
Oh my god.
So go give it some claps, babe. Clap it up. Hell yeah. I'm gonna put the clap track so it sounds even more so. But this is actually pretty good. 2023 making leaps and bounds, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The cinematography, and excuse me because my nose is a bit stuffy, it's Juan Rodrigo Prieto.
Oh.
He's done the cinematography for 8 Mile back in 2002, Brokeback Mountain 2005, one of my mother's favorite movies. The Wolf of Wall Street in 2013. And he's going to be doing the cinematography for the upcoming movie Killers of the Flower Moon, which I'm looking forward to.
For that.
Yeah, we saw the trailer in the theater too.
We did, yeah.
I didn't know Leo DiCaprio was going to be in there.
Me either.
But anyway, the music done by none other than Mark Ronson and Andrew White.
Well
Well, it
done.
was a band, really, and then obviously they have the other collabs
Yeah.
because the Barbie World song with Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice fucking slaps.
And Dua Lipa
Um,
was singing, and so was freaking
Freaking Lizzo, even though she's not
Lizzo.
really in the best
She's not
limelight right
great
now.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeesh. We'll talk about that on our podcast next week because I
Yeah.
want to see how this situation develops. But anyway, both of these guys have impressive track records. Mark Ronson worked with Old Dirty Bastard, R.I.P. One of the founding members of Wu Tang.
Oh.
He's also done work with Sean Paul, Christina Aguilera, Amy Winehouse,
Oh.
GFK, and Lady Gaga. A lot of
Oh.
them have stuff that like crosses over, so I really just went down and just picked names that caught my eye.
Yeah.
Andrew Wyatt has worked with Hugh Grant, Bruno Mars, Miley Cyrus, Beck, Dua Lipa, Lorde, and like I said, they've collabed with
They've worked together.
the same artist. Yeah. Now getting into the stars, and I don't know why it feels like we're rushing with
Because we
this,
have
but
so much
we do have a
information.
lot of information, and I feel like we do have a bit of a bigger discussion ahead of us for this movie. But anyway, the stars, leading role as Barbie herself, or called stereotypical Barbie. I can't speak today. Stereotypical Barbie in the movie is Margot Robbie,
Margot
and you
Barbie.
already know what she's in, man. She's Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad, and that really
I, Tanya.
I Tanya.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's from. She's also in like Wolf of Wall Street. But honestly, I think this will be her biggest role. Um, Joining her in another leading role, we have Ryan Gosling, my
Yeah.
main man. Y'all have heard me simping over this dude for God knows how long, but some of his critical acclaims: The Notebook, Crazy Stupid Love, Drive, and everyone's favorite memeable movie, Blade Runner 2042, 2044. I have no clue. Then one of my favorite actresses outside of the silver screen, because I know her from Superstore. It's a really funny, I guess you call it a sitcom
Mm-hmm.
or just a comedy
I would,
series
yeah.
about a superstore, just a grocery store. She plays the manager there, but it is America Ferrera, right? And she was one of the voices in Tinkerbell from
Oh,
2008. She's also from the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, which I've seen the movie. I do not recall her being in there, but granted, I was 11 when this movie came out,
fair.
and I
Yeah.
forgot who was watching it. But she's also the voice of Astrid in How to Train Your
What?
Dragon, which I didn't know.
What?
Yeah, she's Astrid in all the movies
Oh
and
my
the little
god.
shorts that they made.
That's fucking crazy.
She's also in End of Watch, which I have seen her in there. And then, yes, I didn't, and this is also how I found out that Superstore's over. It ended in 2021.
Well,
Well, I'm like 2 seasons behind. They were like her and the main dude, Jonah, I think his name is. They're going to move to California. So I don't know
oh.
where the show would
So
have
she
gone
left
from
her
there.
husband?
Yeah, she did.
Jesus.
Well, yeah, something was happening or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Nothing serious. It just fizzled, I
Mm.
guess. But then we have Kate McKinnon, who plays Weird Barbie.
Woo!
She was in Ted 2, 2015. The 2016 reboot of
I
Ghostbusters.
never watched that.
It did terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Ferdinand, the movie where John Cena plays that bull from 2017, and she's gonna be playing a role in 2024's new Kung Fu Panda movie.
Oh, wow.
Now, as our main man, Alan, we got our
Alan.
boy Michael Cera. Honestly, for as much as a creep that he looks like, I've never really heard anything negative about him, except for that one thing where like Aubrey Plaza's like, stop,
Mm.
right? But I've heard that was like a skit. Like it was like a joke they were playing.
I think it was.
I don't know. I thought it was real this whole time. But anyway, Michael Cera, super bad. This is the end.
Woo.
No, he's not in Project
Juno.
X. Juno. Yes. Oh God, I hated the movie Juno for so long.
Zombieland.
Oh God,
No, he's
Zombieland.
not in Zombieland.
No, that's Jesse Eisenberg
Yeah,
because they
see?
look and sound exactly the fucking same. We got Issa Rae. She is Spider Woman from this year's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And let me say, that's our next. Or do you want to do that or the Mario Bros. Movie next?
Ooh.
We'll figure it out. But I was so glad when Miles beat her ass. She
Yeah,
was
that's pretty
talking
good.
shit, talking foul the whole
Yeah.
movie, man. And then she's also mainly known for a TV series that she made herself.
Oh,
It's called Insecure.
never heard of it.
No, it's outside of our realm of
Oh,
TV.
okay.
And then we have Rhea Perlman, which is one of my favorite characters from Cheers.
Ooh.
That's really all that I know her from. But I honestly, I thought she was dead.
Oh.
So when I saw it, that's why I was like, oh my God, that's the girl from Cheers. Because Cheers
Holy
was like,
shit.
It was one of those old shows that I liked watching with Grandpa, like
Yeah.
that, MASH, Hogan's Heroes, stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
But I love me some Cheers. You know, you wanna go where everybody knows your name. Dun, 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 dun. Will Ferrell
Woo!
plays the CEO of Mattel.
Funny guy.
And fucking
Funny guy.
hilarious. The little C plot for like the Mattel like executives. We actually called him executive number two.
I love that.
But you know him from Elf, that god awful annoying fucking movie. Step Brothers, one of the funniest movies ever made. Megamind, one of the funniest superhero spoofs ever made. The Other Guys, one of the funniest cop spoofs ever made. And Anchorman, one of the funniest news spoofs ever made.
Just dub, dub, dub,
This
dub.
man just prints money, speaks and pisses excellence because he's also from Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Oh.
But anyway, with all that out of the way, let's start breaking down the meat and potatoes of this movie. My love, what are some pros that you have from watching this?
I liked the colors. I particularly liked there was like how they were going to and from Barbie Land.
Yeah.
I liked that there was no point where they were stuck or like they couldn't get back.
Oh yeah, there
I
was
liked
no.
that it was very straightforward,
That's
like, "Oh,
something that
let's
I thought
go."
was gonna be like something to pad out the runtime, but no,
No,
like this movie
exactly.
truly just it just flows.
It
There's
was so
nothing I feel
nice.
that pads the runtime.
This movie felt like a breath of fresh air for me.
Yes,
It was just so refreshing.
it just it was just
It
good.
was
It's
good.
just a
It's a
simple,
good movie.
good movie. But
Yeah,
it was actually pretty funny when like the normal people, like the real world people, were going through the portal. Like Will Ferrell's character has obviously done it before, so he was like, "This is kind of fun, isn't it? Look
when
a
they were all on
dolphin."
the
Yeah.
freaking thing.
And then when America and her daughter Jade, and there's a funny fan theory about her group of
Because
friends.
they're all,
They're
yeah.
based on the Brats because it's what Jade, Sasha, Chloe, and who's the other one? The first
Well,
four.
I know that I thought that her name was Sasha.
Yeah, it's Sasha, but her friend, oh, I thought her name was Jade. But their four is named after the original four of the Bratz lineup that they launched with,
I can't remember right
apparently.
now.
But no, it's Jade, Sasha, Chloe, and I cannot remember what the fuck the fourth
No, me either. That's what I'm saying. I can't
Bratz
remember it
doll
is.
is named. Oh my god, dude, I got two sisters. You think I would
I
know this
had
because
brats.
they
I
all had
had
Bratz.
all of
Yeah,
them.
no, like fucking my household was a Bratz household. But anyway, some pros for me. Love the music.
Love the music.
Like the one made specifically for the movie soundtrack, but then the artist collabs as well. It's very fun. It's refreshing. It fits the movie. There's nothing where I was like, this is kind of out of place. My favorite song, obviously, is Ryan Gosling's "I'm Just Ken." Anywhere else, you got to sing with me,
No,
or it's just
I
cringy.
didn't like that
You
one as
didn't
much.
like that one?
No,
Oh my god.
no.
Anyway, the flow of the story, like we mentioned before, it's really good. There's no point where it really drags because at the end of the day, this is a kids movie,
I think it's
right?
lovely. Yeah.
It's very lovely. It's something that the parents will certainly enjoy because it's more so for them.
Hmm.
But this, at the end of the day, is very much a kids presenting movie because it's about a fucking toy,
Yeah, like
right?
it's like why do they talk like
Well,
that?
the
Because they are in they're toys
yeah, like the dialogue is very
played by
it's
children.
very simple. Like it's made to be like they're literally acting as the toys,
Yeah,
and it just works because there's a lot deeper meaning. There's a lot more messages, but we're going to get into that before we move on to the next movie. The writing, like we just said, it's phenomenal. It's simple. It's to the point. It doesn't try to present itself as complex. And honestly, with what the movie's trying to get across,
yeah.
that's what works because that seems to be what the general American populace needs because we're all fucking stupid. The laughs in this movie,
Very
they
funny.
just keep rolling and
Yep,
rolling and rolling. Oh my god, I was busting up in the
it
theater,
was
man. I
very
was
funny.
laughing more than you.
I was lost because I was crying
Oh yeah, no,
the
you
whole movie. I was just silent, just constant tears. Like I wasn't even sad particularly. It was just constant. Like everything was
you
just
got to feel
fucking hurt.
represented in the movie, my
My
love.
goodness gracious.
Well, why don't you tell the people about it?
I can't. I have no idea how to like intellectualize that. It was just
Well, I can. Well, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be me giving my opinion on the movie, which is positive, by the way, right?
yeah,
But people go, "Oh, it's the fucking dude mansplaining what he got from the Barbie movie." Listen, intersectional feminism includes the dudes too, and that's what this movie is first and foremost. But before we get to that, right? The acting and the fits.
oh my
Oh
god, the
my
fucking
god, dude!
outfits.
I should have brought a fucking raft, dude. I was drowning off these waves from this movie,
Oh my
man.
goodness.
Oh my god, dude!
Oh,
Everything Ryan
sets.
Gosling had on, I wanted. Anything that Margot Robbie had on, like that little blue fit she had on
Yeah.
when she first met Weird Barbie, got to get that for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta get that for you. I'm just gonna leave it alone
I
at
loved
that.
the set design.
The set design was
I was
hilarious.
eating it up. Like all of the details were just perfect. The plastic waves,
Yeah.
stop.
John
The
Cena
solid
was there. Why
pool
the fuck was John
because
Cena?
it's John Cena. He can do
Dude,
whatever he wants.
John Cena's popping up everywhere like The Rock and Matt Damon, dude.
Yeah.
He's just there. Um, but anyway, no movie was without its cons. And luckily for you, when you said like the sets and everything, I wanted more integration of more familiar Barbie products.
Yeah.
Yes, the dream house was there, but not specifically the late 90s, early 2000s version of the dream house, which is what, our age group would have.
Yeah.
I was hoping to see more of like the Barbie land infrastructure, like, you know what I mean? Where's the RV? Or if they showed it, I didn't really see it. I wanted to see more of the pets. I
Yeah.
wanted to see more of the
My dog
wildlife.
was in it though.
Oh yeah, that little
My
dog
dog
that
was
poops, and then
in
you
it. Oh,
feed it
I
its poop.
loved
That
him.
was a
I didn't understand my mom's horror at it. She was like, "Ew," and I was like, "What, mom?
Yeah, because
It's
so for
fine."
anyone that's not familiar, right, or for anyone that doesn't have kids or what have you,
It was a
this
set,
Barbie dog, right? Yeah, it was a set. It came with it, and the dog food is a brown. It's a brown little piece of kibble, right? And you can feed it to the dog, and it goes into
and then
like
you
the hollowed
lift.
out dog
Yeah,
thing, and then you lift its tail, and it pops it out.
it's awesome.
But then you have to feed it again.
And
So you know what I mean?
The Barbie that came with it, her fit, oh my god! And she had like a single braid in her hair, but it was down. I thought she looked so cool.
Yeah.
I was like, "This is the coolest Barbie."
I liked all the little interactions that they had too when she's, getting up because you don't move Barbies down the stairs. You just place them wherever you want to
Yes,
go. All the food and everything's
I loved
fake. There's no
how she bent
water.
when she was getting in the car.
Oh, that shit was hilarious,
How
right?
like she was waving, how she was moving. It was just
They
perfect.
were acting their ass off, right?
That's one of my pros. Everybody was acting
Can we talk about the
so
dance scene, like that
well.
initial one where we meet Ken, right? And then he's like, "I'm gonna go show him on the dance floor," and he's just doing that little
Oh
shoulder
my god,
shuffle over
dude, the
there.
dance scene, I almost one of the reasons I was crying during that was because of how casually they had a Barbie in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
A plus size Barbie.
yeah,
Like a Barbie with a prosthetic arm.
a pregnant Barb.
All of these
But
are
technically, babe,
Barbies.
all Barbies have prosthetic arms.
It's true. But it's like it just felt really good because it was like a solidification of like, hey, like all women
Well, you know what I didn't
are
see?
women. You know what I mean? It was really nice, but I don't know if that's just a
I didn't see any.
inner meaning for me.
Oh well, they don't have them. They don't have any native Barbies. They
No.
also don't have any Caribbean Barbies.
No.
Was there like a Latina Barbie?
Yeah,
Which one was that?
Teresa.
Oh, that of course it's named Teresa. Good. Hey,
I
shout
loved
out to my aunt
Teresa.
Teresa, bro.
I loved Teresa. I always played her in a Barbie horse riding adventures because
Teresa.
I thought she was way cool.
That's how you say that name in Spanish.
She had
Teresa.
nicer eyes.
But anyway, no movie is without its cons,
This
like I
one is.
said, and I wanted more integration of the products. I also wanted more Barbie Land.
I wanted more
It
Barbie
seemed
Land.
like we were hardly there, right? But the
Yeah.
time we spent in Barbie Land, because obviously it's an hour and 54 minutes. Once the movie starts, it's gotta go,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? I wanted more, like the scene, like a lot of the funnier scenes happen on like the outskirts, like when Michael Sarah's character, right, Alan, when he's like,
Casually
once they
fucking
figure,
bodies the whole.
right,
Oh,
he's like,
once
once
they
they figure
figure
out
out
how
how
to
to
build
build
the wall
up.
sideways, not up, and they're just playing like a fucking Jenga tower.
Oh
But
my god.
oh my god, but so before we get into the favorite scene, last scene, I want to kind
I
of
have
get
a
more.
con.
What is your con?
So this is I don't know if this is unique or if I'm reading into it too
Ooh, my
much.
audio tick came through.
Oh,
If they heard.
I didn't like how Barbie still had to comfort Ken after he completely took over her house and tried to ruin Barbie Land. And then he was feeling bad and she still had to comfort him and he didn't apologize.
He did apologize.
Nope.
Yeah, he did. He said he's sorry for what he didn't apologize to her, but he said he's sorry for what he's
Yeah,
done.
he didn't apologize to her. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I don't know. That's why I'm saying it could just be a me thing.
We'll see, but he didn't really do anything
He
wrong.
did.
No. So, look, in my opinion, he didn't really do anything wrong, right? Because they literally don't. It's a kid playing with a thing, right?
Yeah.
If your child doesn't know something's wrong and they do it, are you going to be like, how the fuck didn't you know if you never taught them, right? Like, if I never told you how to properly cut something with a knife and you cut yourself with the knife, who's at fault?
The person teaching?
Yes. Right. And because no one's really at fault here, it's the patriarchy
Yeah.
that is at fault, right? Because the patriarchy, right, even though, oh, it's a big buzzword, right? In the real world, it negatively affects, obviously more so women,
Yeah.
right? It negatively affects women, but it also negatively affects men because it pushes them into boxes, right? It pushes people on all across the spectrum
Yeah.
into boxes, right? And that's not good. Obviously, this movie is a feminist first movie,
Yeah.
and it's really good. You guys need that type of representation
Hmm.
without it being, written by a man. Like looking at you, the last duel. I don't want to see three dudes' perspectives on a woman getting
No,
essayed.
no, I swear to God, to male directors or like, Hollywood in general, they're like, oh, I know exactly how to show that this female character has depth. She was raped, or her like fucking parents died,
Or her kid
or
died
her
or
kid
something like,
died, or
yeah.
she had a miscarriage, and it always ends with her happy and in love. That was another pro. I liked that they didn't have Barbie and Ken in love, but I liked that they did have Barbie and Ken.
Yeah, they did have a
I
Barbie
just
and a
miss my
Ken.
friend Barbie.
No,
Hi,
he said, I
Ken.
miss my Barbie.
No, he said my friend. I looked it up.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Damn it, I thought they were like actually together. I was
Well,
like,
they might be.
representation for clingy
No, I
couples,
know, but
yeah.
I liked it though because I just missed my
But
Barbie, and she's like, "Hi," and
but
he's like,
back
"Oh, thank God."
but back to the point is because Ken's not the
Oh, I have
villain,
another pro.
right? Because the patriarchy is the villain
Yeah,
of the movie. You know what I mean? And yes, it's portrayed through toys. So the real horrors of a male dominated, specifically an incel male
yeah.
dominated society, is not shown because I don't think they were going to put that in a Barbie movie. You
They
know what I
towed
mean?
up to it with the maid uniforms.
Yeah, like that, the cat calling and everything, but they're not going to show the actual thing where you get followed home and
Yeah,
you know. Um,
I have a pro.
oh, what's the pro?
One of the Barbies, I didn't even realize, the one with the long red hair.
Yeah.
She's a trans woman.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I only knew
Like the
because yeah,
actress? That's
I
awesome.
only knew because Ben Shapiro was fucking whining about it
Ugh,
with this woman with a voice deeper than mine. Yeah, because your voice sounds like this.
I don't know, man. I'm too busy staring at his sister's
He
titties
made
to focus on what
a
he's saying.
43-minute video.
Yes, he did. You know
It
who
is
else has got a
so funny to
43-minute
me.
video? Every dude that's over there, like literally, once they found out what his sister looked like, they're like, "Bro, your sister has tits," and he just gets so pissed. They're like, "Milk," and he's like, "No."
Oh my god.
It's funny as hell. But anyway, to finish my thought, I don't think Ken, while he should have apologized, him not apologizing directly to Barbie, because he didn't hurt just Barbie, he hurt Barbie Land.
Yeah.
And so he apologizes for what he did to Barbie Land. They're all included into that. His
Yeah, but
personal
except
beef was the unrequited love, but then they sit there and they explain it, right? And yes, while no one owes anybody an explanation of the whole thing, it's not my job to educate you. You
yeah.
know what I mean? It is a thing that the Barbies were taking the Kens for granted because the Ken and Barbie relationship is a spoof of how women are treated in the
Yeah.
real world, right? Men
Except
take their women for granted or their partners for
yeah.
granted. You know what I mean?
And I'm using this because I saw it on TikTok and I thought that it sums it up. Like the bad things that were happening to Ken's were that they were being ignored.
Yeah.
And then what Ken's did in response was they completely brainwashed, shoved into fucking maid uniforms, took over, destroyed.
Yes, it's the difference between misandry or misandry.
Miss An- mi- Ooh.
Misandry.
Ooh,
Misandry?
I don't know.
Well, they know what we're trying to say. It's
Yeah.
the difference between misandry and misogyny.
I could spell it.
Misandry is utopia with the absence of
Yes.
these types of things. Like they just don't exist,
Yeah.
right? Misogyny is basically what we have
Men.
now, where men are
Men.
on top and women are subservient and yada 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 fucking yada, right?
Yeah.
A good blend, and this is why I like that this movie is a true intersectionally feminist movie.
Yeah.
Is that it is a coexistence of the two.
Yeah.
A coexistence on equal planes, on equal terms. And yes, that will probably never happen in our lifetimes or kids' lifetimes or what have you without some type of major drastic shift, which will
Yeah.
include violence, right?
Yep.
But it's nice to see what it could look like. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I just
It's
feel like
especially nice to see what it looks like.
I just feel like he should have apologized for destroying her house.
Uh, their house.
It wasn't their house.
I know it's not. It was her house. The Mojo
I like
Dojo.
the horses. The horses can stay.
Mojo
Everything
Dojo
else gotta
Casa
go.
House.
Yeah, oh, I love that.
But
The Mojo Dojo Casa House is selling like fucking hotcakes.
so what did you
Yeah.
get from this movie?
I felt that I've never really felt like a kinship or a connection to other like women.
Yeah.
Because I've always felt very removed from everybody.
Remember, you also are neurodivergent.
No, exactly.
And
so it's partially that. And,
oh, I'm sorry.
no,
I was going to say, and unfortunately, in modern day feminism, they kind of exclude the white women because
valid for valid reasons.
no, y'all are still women, and y'all still have the negative effects of misogyny
Yeah, but
thrust
we
upon
historically weren't doing enough. But so like I get it. So like, but it was really nice because I felt like I related to everybody. Like this is a bunch of women were like, "Hey,
It's the
like
gals.
we're all gonna wear pink to see this movie."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're all like we all like all of us can see ourselves in this because we've all been there. We've all played with our Barbies. And I saw this one thing on TikTok where it's like everybody when they open their Barbie for the first time, they stroke their hair.
Yeah.
I do that with my American Girl dolls. I do it with my freaking Barbies. I do. It's accurate and it's just it was so it felt nice.
In a time,
I think it felt nice, and that's the most I can do on that.
and it feels dope with me. Like, on the same note, obviously, it doesn't feel as much because at the end of the day, I am a dude.
Oh,
You
and
know what I
her
mean?
monologue.
Um,
Like I saw that on Tumblr, right? I saw that on Tumblr years
yeah,
ago. But so many people haven't seen it on Tumblr. So that's their first time hearing somebody actually laying out what the hell even a fraction of being a woman feels like. And that felt so nice. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Because
And
it's
see,
like that. It's
the
literally
initial,
like that. It's from our family members,
yeah,
from all of our friends, right? Coworkers, randos on the street. That is the expectation that we constantly have to deal with. And it fucking like even if you don't notice it, you know it's happening anyway.
yes,
Like you can turn a blind eye.
yeah.
It's still happening. And it was just nice.
And that's what really sucks because obviously, again, like I said before, at the end of the day, I'm just a dude.
Mhm.
But I feel like I am very much in touch with myself and touch with my feminine side
Yeah.
and the whole 9 yards. So that gets me looked at weird by other dudes. So to even get
Yep.
a fraction, and it makes me just want to punch him in their stupid fucking face, right?
See, I would do that,
So
but then
even
they'd rape and
getting
murder me.
even getting a fraction of that, I can't
Yeah.
imagine what you and other women go through on a daily basis, right? Now, my knee jerk reaction, right, by seeing that, I was like, yes, every feminist movie has to have its obligatory,
Hmm.
obligatory
Yeah.
word vomit about that very same monologue,
Because
right?
nobody's listening.
But what I like about this movie, right,
Yeah.
is that it fits. It doesn't try. It just says it simply. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't try to make them like when
Nuanced.
people
It's
like,
not like
yeah,
they're
it
not
does.
like
It
it's an
doesn't.
undertone.
Yeah,
They're
they're
like,
not
"Hey,
using
this
bigger
is what the
words for
fuck
no
it is."
reason. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because I hate when people do that. They try to use bigger words to seem more intelligent. It doesn't fucking work, and it just
Oh,
makes you look like an
I
asshole.
have something that made me almost start sobbing. It
Huh?
was the first thing. It was when one of the Barbies like was a lawyer, and she was saying that like I have no problem holding both my like emotions and logic, and
Yes.
I'm able to feel both at the like it was something like
Able to
that.
feel and process both at the same
Yeah, and
time.
I was just like, oh my god.
Because remember, my love,
And
when
all of them instead
something
of saying
happens
thank
in the
you,
movie, right?
yeah,
If if it remember because a lot of dudes are just like, oh my god, this movie, blah blah blah. It doesn't apply to you, dog. You know
literally.
what I mean? If you get upset by it, it applies to you. But if you
Everything
could,
else is for you.
yeah, like if you could sit there and you could watch it like a normal fucking person, you're good.
I
You don't have to worry about it. But like, yeah, they were saying, I deserve
I
this.
deserve this because I worked hard for this.
Yeah,
Like like I did like I worked very hard for this. And I that's I've never heard that.
honestly,
I
that's
have
something I
never
think
heard
more
somebody get a
stars.
fucking reward, like get like a trophy or anything and say I worked hard for this, so I deserve it.
Yeah.
And that completely changed
Well,
my
because
view
that's
of genre.
seen as like selfish, and not even just from a woman saying that. Like,
Yeah.
I think more stars and more people that get recognition need to say that. Like, look at the flag Snoop Dogg got
Yeah.
years ago when he got there. He's like, "Well, I'd like to thank me,"
Yeah,
and
I
people thought
worked
he was being like an asshole, but he was on T Pain's podcast, right?
yeah.
And he was like, "No," he's like, "When I was sitting up there, right, I was like." They didn't write the music with me. They didn't put up this money that I was like, I did this. Like, yes, they still have their jobs, but he's like, at the end of the day, I'm the one that's selling you're the one selling the records,
Yeah.
and he was like, so I'd like to thank me. You know what
Yes.
I mean? It doesn't say that he's not thankful. He just knows his worth. And it's nice to see that a movie having a woman in a position of power saying that because people need to get used to that. Humbleness is good, but there's humbleness and then, just having to do something because like an academy,
Pride is not pride in yourself is not dirty.
it's
It's
not
not
it's not
wrong.
vanity. You
It's
should
not.
feel confident in yourself. And I
And it's
like
always
that this
women.
movie,
It's always
yeah,
with women. They're always seen differently.
yeah.
With the men, it's like accomplished, but it's stupid.
But all in all, I truly think that this is a great movie, right? I think we can both agree
Yes,
that this movie, uh, on the surface, it's comedic, it's funny, it's bright, it's colorful.
I love it.
But after leaving it, I can see why people were having such profound emotional experience because it shows you what it means like to be human. When she's sitting there talking to,
Ruth.
yeah, when she's sitting there talking to Ruth and she says, like, you know what it's like to be human, right? And it goes through all the lovely sequence. And a thing that
Oh,
we both liked, right, is that it finally shows women and people in general being happy without kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the majority of the fan base coming from this movie are mothers because they felt represented
Yeah,
with the relationship between America and her child.
absolutely.
Right. But then also in the sequence, it shows all those like memories of like different human lifetimes and stuff like that. And while the majority of them are mothers or just families with children, it still shows a decent chunk of people in
Just
relationships like
women
ourselves
being
that don't have
happy.
kids, or women just being happy with no kids, but with their friends
Yeah.
instead. Right.
Bowling.
And it's just, it was really nice because, while the majority of people do go on to have, traditional, yeah, they go on to have traditional relationships and go that traditional route with their lives. That doesn't mean that other people that do stuff differently aren't happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's
And,
like what sorry.
oh no, no,
It's like what we were saying earlier, how like Hollywood's happy ending for women is always
they have a
they fall in
kid.
love, they have a
Yeah,
baby, they get married, they get
that's
a
what spoiled the
house.
Hunger Games for me
Oh
when it
my
showed Cat, because
god.
I had never seen the end of the movie. I never knew how the series ended. So
In the
she's
books
sitting
it makes
there.
more sense
Okay, in the book, yeah. So I'm looking forward to reading those books
because
after I get done with Lord of the Rings.
she's so fucked up from the Hunger Games and from
As
her whole
anyone
life,
would. Good
right?
lord.
She's traumatized to hell and back. Pete is traumatized to hell and
Wait,
back.
babe, we gotta save this.
No, no, no.
We're talking about
So they
Barbie and Oppenheimer. We're talking about Barbie and Oppenheimer. Barbenheimer, babe. Barbenheimer. Okay. That being said, right? Obviously, you felt very represented by the movie, right?
I didn't even know until after when I was like, why am I
Right?
crying? And you
Yeah,
were
we
just
had to
like,
have
you
a
felt seen.
yeah.
Because
It
I was confused. Like I was
when you feel the
confused.
emotions for the first time, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's I don't really have any other way. I'm not trying to make it all about me.
No,
You
the
know what I
birds are
mean?
trying to
It's
chime
like,
in.
oh, Tino's a cool dude. He's like, what did he get out of the movie? Because I got a lot from the movie as well,
Yeah.
right? Seeing the way that the Kens evolved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nobody said, like Ken only has a good day if Barbie looks at him. For so much of a young man's life, right? You don't think about the well, you think you know what the female gaze is, right? But you have kind of that incelly mentality. Like I remember so much like growing up because
Oh,
I was a
like the
bit
whole like you're
heftier
supposed to
growing
be
up.
shredded,
Yeah, you got to
right?
be shredded. You got to do this. You know what I mean. And then coming up in a family that reinforced that.
Yeah.
Anytime I deviated from that, I was like, "Fuck, I'm less of a man. I'm less of this." Right?
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't, if I wasn't getting bitches,
Yeah.
I was like, "Damn, what the fuck am I even doing?" And that's what I tied my self worth to.
Yeah.
And then while I was in the military, I worked that out. Um,
Literally.
yeah, because while I still do enjoy being physically fit, it does not equal my self value, if you will. Body dysmorphia aside, right?
Yes.
But I liked seeing the Kens go through their own version of that and finding
Yes.
that they can, in fact, lean on each other because you can lean on the bros, dog.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like,
I like that they involved him
they're
getting little smooches from his buddies.
dude, it ain't nothing wrong with that.
No,
Little good night kisses for the
men
homies,
are
bro. You know what I
allowed to
mean?
express
Little
physical
cheek kiss.
affection for each other.
It's a culture thing. And it's stuff like that that happens that like with my grandparents, you give your grandparents a kiss. I would stop like grandma, grandpa, like everything. I just stopped.
Yeah.
Like if you notice, I started doing it again with Aubie because like is he doing? Yeah, it's a sign of affection.
I never did it
Little
either.
Italian air cheek
Yeah.
kisses. You
Mwah,
know what I
mwah.
mean?
Yeah. It's
But
French.
I can remember
En
both of
français.
my grandfathers,
Yeah.
right? I was going home after vacations, and I wasn't even in like double digits yet, but I was like, Grandpa, it's kind of gay. I don't want to give you a kiss.
Oh.
I was like, damn, they really had me in that toxic masculinity
Yeah.
grip like that. You
That
know what I
stinks.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, it was nice seeing that they come together, they form that brotherhood, and they know that like the I am Knuff hoodie. You know what I mean? And
I
it's so
loved when they
nice
were all
because
galloping.
yeah, they're all like they're going to war. Like it was comedic, but it's nice because I know that there was some, not even just a little boy, just a young person
Yeah.
in the audience that saw that and was like, "Damn, it really can be like that." You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
It really can
And
be like that.
that's funny. That's good.
Ah,
There you go.
I got a high five.
Hey, um, that was really, it was really nice. It was really cool getting to see positive masculinity in a movie like that when I was not really expecting it. Honestly, I expected more jokes with men in general just being the butt of it. You know what I mean? Which I don't really,
And that's kind of like a thing for feminism in itself is that
not that's not intersectional feminism though. That's
no,
why
but
intersectional. Yeah.
like I feel like people perceive it as it's like the like we've been talking about like it's
Yeah.
supposed like it's women are better than men. And that's not what it is. Feminism is that we're equal
Yeah.
and that we're people
Y'all just want to stop
That's literally the
being
whole
treated like
shebang.
shit. You know what I
That's
mean?
literally
But what
it.
I like is that, and again, this movie subverts your expectations
Yeah.
because the men aren't the butt of their jokes. They're
No.
portrayed as fellow victims
Yeah.
of a system that pretends that it's for them. But if you don't fit in this box, again, because the whole movie is about, not being put into a box, that you get treated differently, get treated less. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's what lets people like fucking Ben Shapiro and the hell's the bald dude's name with the Bugatti?
Andrew Tate.
Old Andrew Tate fucking
I
have
think he's
power.
rotten in prison because him and his brother got caught and
They are
in
going
Romania
straight to prison,
for
dude.
fucking sex trafficking minors.
Yep. He was like, "We're coming here because it's laxer laws and we can treat them like they're
You know
supposed to
how
be."
aggressively in everybody's face with it you have to be to get fucking arrested for that?
I mean, he was already in a country where they're kind of lax on those laws anyway.
That's what I've
And they
heard.
were like, "You got to go to fucking prison, dude. Like this guy's a villain. He's got to go." But
Rot.
anyway, it was
Rot.
really enjoying. It was really heartwarming to see that it is definitely something that younger me needed. But now, I'm not gonna say fully healed. Fucking like 75% healed me
Yeah.
is like, hey, you know what
This
I
movie
mean?
was lovely. I can't wait until it hits streaming.
Right? Like we got to watch it again and again and again. But anyway, your favorite scene, my love, because my favorite scene is the Kens coming
Of
together.
course. Ooh. My favorite scene.
Yes. Well, here, while you think about that,
Yeah.
I'll go over my least favorite scene.
Yeah.
My least favorite scene were when the kids roasted Barbie.
I hated that.
Now, it's not because
I
it was
hated
mean,
that.
right?
I hate
They
it because it
brought
was
up
mean.
they brought up a lot of valid points, but it's a lot of straw man arguments. You know what I mean?
Yes.
People love a scapegoat.
It isn't Barbie's fault.
And this is probably the most toxic take I have about the whole movie. It's not the way an object looks fault.
Yeah.
It's the people who make them, right?
Amen.
Like the whole
Yep.
thing where it's like, oh, this doll sets unrealistic standards for women, right?
Yep.
It's not the doll, it's the people making the doll. Because even though this is kind of an incelly argument when they're like, well, you don't see people saying shit about that, like He-Man, right? Because He-Man's just fucking buff shredded from the gods
Yeah.
themselves, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, no, it's the people that make the dolls. It's the people that do these things and set these standards and have these stupid fucking traditions that are at fault. And I kind of wish that the movie broke away from that because it does it in a way. And I like how this kid gets shut down throughout the movie. And she's like, "Thank you, white savior Barbie." And the mother was like, "It was actually all the Barbies that did it
Yeah.
themselves, not just this one."
No, I loved. I that just made me think of how the scene where Will Ferrell when they're like trying to talk like where she's like where's your boss, where's your woman boss, and he's like, we have had two
Oh, yeah.
women working here. It was just so fucking funny to me
That shit was
because that's how these fucking people be. That's how they be with people of color. That's how they are with women. It's literally like we
you could
have
just enter
two diversity hires.
like you can interchange it
or like
even
we
with
have a
racism.
disabled employee.
Yeah, like like
Mhm.
ableism, classism, stuff like that.
Sorry, that was an
You
accident.
just smack the table.
I did.
But like even the same thing where like people like with racist, they're like, "Oh, I can't be racist. My sister's friends, brothers, coworkers,
Yup.
acquaintance, adopted dogs, sitters, babies, mothers, friend is like insert minority here." You know what I
Literally.
mean? But I didn't really like the scene of the kids roasting her because it still shows that even though you have a very progressive director at the helm, that the main way they portray the youth, right, is that they're just angry, rude, and uncaring. And while yes, a lot of younger people are rude, is because they're teenagers and they're learning how to fit within the social dynamic of
And also,
society
what do
as
they
a
have to
whole.
look forward to?
Yeah. But I hate because it's still that's just how they show Gen Zers is like they're on
Yeah.
their phone, they're not looking at, they're doing this, and that. Like, no, there are kind people within our generation, even at that age. Stop portraying everyone as just this monotone zombie on their fucking phone all the time. That's not what these people are. That's not what even the older part of Gen Z, like ourselves, is, right? But anyway,
I think I've narrowed it down to two.
two.
I love all of the stuff with Lizzo's like the Pink song in the background,
Oh
like the
yeah.
opening, and I loved how she was falling in Pink, like P, panic. I'm scared. K, death. Like I thought that was good. And then also when she's seeing the memories again, right?
Yeah.
And she's like realizing that when she's seeing the memories and then she realizes that it isn't Sasha's memories, it's
It's
her
the mothers,
mom's,
yeah.
and like the memory like zooms out. That just fucking wiped me. Like that
For
hurt.
obvious reasons, I
I know.
couldn't relate.
Oh
My mom
god.
was beating my ass.
I don't remember my mom playing with me.
Is that a
It's
speck
just
on the dish? Pop, pop, pop.
But it was just that was beautiful.
She's a wrecking machine.
It was so beautiful.
It must have been beautiful.
I
Well, I
love my
know
mom.
my mother has memories that look like that of my siblings and I.
But you want to know what else
Those
it made
ain't
me?
my
But you want to know what
memories.
else it made me think of?
Huh?
Is that like if you're a mom, you have your own girlhood, like your own childhood, and your daughters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're living
Actually,
like
no, I'm not understanding.
so like growing up, right? Like you had your own childhood,
Yeah.
right? Where like you had this stuff, you did this stuff.
Yeah.
Like if we have like a child,
Yeah.
we also have their childhood because
Mm.
we are also witnessing that one. We're there for that
But we
one.
don't have it. We're present for it. It's not ours. It's theirs.
Well, no, but it's like see if when you're like involved, right?
Yes.
Like my mom,
We're mentoring it,
I don't know. My
shaping
mom,
it.
right? Like I can say anything from any show I watched when I was little,
Yeah.
and she instantly remembers what it was and how we were feeling and how it was because she was there too. So it's like
Yeah. That's
it
just
was
being a present
also I know,
parent.
but it was also her like experience too. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I thought it
I'm
was like
wording it
they get to
poorly.
have like a second childhood. I was like, nah,
No, no, it's
they
not
can
like
use
living
their experience
through.
from childhood and recreate it because there are aspects of my childhood that I would like to recreate if we do have a kid,
Me too.
right? Like like a lot of the familial warmth and stuff like that, like something going on in every room. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which unfortunately, as this economic situation gets worse and worse, seems like it's not going to happen. But anyway, we got to move on. What is your least favorite scene?
Either when they're roasting Barbie or ooh,
Or Ken not apologizing?
well that did bug me. That did bug me. I did not like the obvious Chevy car commercial.
That was hilarious. I loved anything they did in the car that was
That
funny.
was funny as fuck in the car.
Did you
It's
learn it
just
from dad? Yeah,
oh, I love
yeah.
that. Oh, I love that
Oh my
because I
god.
love
But
Barbie's face in the back. Just
my love.
yeah.
Oh, a lot of funny jokes too, like when Barbie becomes real at the end. It's like, what are you here for? I'm here to see my
Oh
gynecologist.
my
The
god.
true test.
No, and the every woman has gone through a man playing something at you.
Oh, the
Oh
guitars.
my god, when it
Oh
panned out
my
to all
god.
of them fucking oh my god.
That shit
It's
killed it. I'm
universal.
not gonna lie though,
This dude played Stairway to Heaven 4 times.
dude, if I was Ryan Gosling's Ken, right? Like if I was him and my Barbie got up and walked to my because she went to the Asian
Yep.
Ken, which is his main op in the movie. I'm like, you know what? There's this thing in the book called fighting. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna put this Draco to his fucking dreadlocks, bro. Oh my god, the Asian Ken didn't have dreadlocks. That's a line from a T Grizzly song. But anyway, I think that we both have the same rating for this movie, and that is a say it with me,
10
10
out
out
of
of 10.
10.
This is our
Too
second.
many
That's
spirits.
too many. God damn.
We're sued.
That's all right. But like, Shane, why you gotta do this to me? Please, I'm a Shaniac. What is Ryan's? The Bugaras? If you don't know what
Oh
Watcher
fuck the
is, the
Bulgara.
joke's not for you. But anyway, it's a 10 out of 10. This movie is really perfect. It makes you feel seen, and it's got something for everyone, for the whole family. But now, immediately going in, double feature movie review. Oppenheimer.
Babe,
We're
edit
taking
in
a
an explosion noise.
no,
Edit in an
no,
explosion.
no, no. We're taking a major shift in tone here. We're going from something that teaches you about being human to what it means to take human life.
Oh, okay. Segue.
All right. Oppenheimer 2023 also came out July 21st. It is a drama thriller. Now,
Yep.
this is a longer movie, a
Didn't feel
big
like
boy
it.
movie. Yeah, right. Like the pacing's really
I
good.
thought
It
I'd
did
have to
not
pee. I
feel.
did not have to pee.
It didn't feel like 3 hours,
That's
which
good.
is what this movie's runtime is. 3 hours exactly. 2 minutes shy of the Batman. 3 hours and 2 minutes.
The
I just dropped my
Batman.
pen. The rating 8.7 at IMDb with a critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes of 94% and an audience score of 92%.
See, there it is. Patriarchy at work. Boom.
Also historians. Like this is more of an historical
Oh yeah.
buff movie. Now, I'm not here to talk about a lot of Oppenheimer's history. I'm not here to talk about the history of atomic
Yeah, we're
energy
here to
within
talk
the
about the
United States.
movie.
I'm here to talk about the movie
Yeah.
and the stuff that I know and that you know as well.
Yeah.
And how we interpreted it to come across as either good or bad for the movie as a whole, right? Because there's a whole ethics conversation that can be had about, oh, he was remorseful at least, which he was. Oppenheimer later on in his life was a champion about nuclear regulation and nuclear de-escalation. Like
Yeah.
he was like, yo, the Cold War should have never happened. Like we should not do this. But you know how it is. History is history. The budget for this movie was anywhere from 100 million to 266 million. Like I've said before,
Damn.
I always go more for the expensive side.
Yeah.
And the updated amount for this movie making money is 434.4 million.
That's
Obviously,
impressive.
I honestly
At minimum,
think
that's a double.
yeah, I honestly think that movies have really weird scaling. Like a movie can make a lot of money, like double, and it'll still be considered a
Well,
financial flop.
because also it like it varies where you read or like it just varies randomly what box office they mean.
Yeah.
Like if they mean
And
international, or if they mean in the states, or if they mean overseas, and
yeah,
it's like it's a whole
I think
clusterfuck.
on because I go to Wikipedia for this because
Yeah.
there's a bunch of people that's editing stuff and then I cross reference it with other like Google stuff and like the IMDb
Oh,
reviews.
oh,
I think it
okay.
is the worldwide
It seems
grossing,
low.
right? Well, it's only been out for a little bit. Like literally today's
Yeah,
the
but
second.
Barbie.
This came out in 21st. But
Okay.
Barbie's different. This is like literally this movie is for historical buffs.
Yeah.
And also, if you guys see Oppenheimer and you think it's not really like a biopic, it is a biopic, but it's because this movie, everything within this movie, is based on American Prometheus, which is a 2005 biography about Oppenheimer,
Woo.
written by Kai Bird and Martin J. Sherwin.
How neat.
That's where all this comes from. But anyway, we're going to get in. The director is none other than Christopher Nolan. You know him
CN.
for the Dark Knight trilogy,
Woo.
Tenet,
Woo.
Interstellar,
Woo.
Dunkirk,
Woo.
and Inception. Ugh,
Mm.
I didn't like Inception. And yes, I fucking understood the movie. Everyone's like, well, did you understand it? Yes, I fucking hate it.
Is that the one where is that I see dead people?
No, that's Sixth Sense.
Mm.
But anyway, I didn't like Inception. It's just, yeah.
Okay, his
Um,
guy. Okay, okay.
it says
His
ew,
note literally says "ew" next to
hyphen ew.
Inception.
But anyway, the cinematography for this was one Hoyt von Hoytema.
Sure. Yeah,
Hoytema.
we love it.
I don't know. Obviously he's like German or Dutch or whatever, but he's worked with Nolan. He's worked on Interstellar, Spectre, Dunkirk,
All
Tenet,
right.
and Nope. I fucking
Hey.
love that movie, dude. Jordan Peele, a horror masterpiece.
I still feel sick
The
thinking
music
about that.
we have to watch it again because we
Nope.
have to review it.
Nope.
Gotta stop being a wimp. But
Yep.
anyway, the music is by one Ludwig Göransson, which we've had on here before because he's done the
He's
Black
so
Panther
good.
music and he did Venom
Did the music for this movie
and two of the Creed
slapped?
movies. Yes, it did. And Tenet again. Like the music in this movie is really something that aids to the overall atmosphere, but we're gonna get into that
So
later on. Let's get into the stars here. Our boy Cillian Murphy,
Killian.
Thomas Shelby, huh?
Killian.
It's Killian.
Yes.
I've only
He's
heard it say
Irish.
Cillian.
It's Killian.
He's Irish. Hey, all right. If he was just a Brit, I would have still said Cillian.
Yep.
He's Irish. Killian Murphy, our boy Thomas Shelby from fucking Peaky Blinders. 28 Days Later, one of my favorite zombie. Well, I don't really consider it. Well, it is a zombie movie, but it's not because it's rage that the zombies
Yeah.
are infected with. And he also plays a Scarecrow in Batman. He has a
Would
bunch
you
of
like to
different
see my
roles, but I
mask?
feel like this is something that they would know him from. Emily Blunt's in the movie, plays his wife. Devil Wears Prada, The Adjustment Bureau, which is one of like I didn't expect myself to like that movie when it first came out with how
No, I
young I
haven't
was.
seen it.
It was actually pretty good. That's about like a bureau that adjusts memories, right? But he's fighting because he wants to see this person they want to be together. But
Gotcha.
the adjustment bureau is like, you're not supposed to be together. We're going to arrange your memories.
Oh.
And then she's also in The Quiet Place,
She is. She's very
directed
good in that.
by one John
Her
Krasinski.
husband.
Yeah, right. And then we have our boy Matt motherfucking Damon,
Roddy D.
Saving Private Ryan, Ocean's 11, even though I hate the Ocean series,
I haven't seen it.
the Jason Bourne series,
Oh.
and Good Will Hunting.
You're missing somebody right here.
Who?
Florence Pugh.
Who? Yeah, see, Penny doesn't know who. Who the fuck is Florence Pugh?
She was the one that he was cheating on his wife with.
Oh, she's not important. Nah.
Mm.
Let's see. Then we have Robert Downey Jr.
Woo!
Iron Man, baby,
Yes.
Tropic Thunder. Fucking hilarious.
Everyone trying to cancel him for that.
He's just like,
And the
that was the
whole
point of the
point
movie,
was-
is to show how ridiculous that it is. And like all the actors are like, no, this is funny.
Yeah.
And then we got Remy Malik.
What?
He's from Night at the Museum, Breaking Dawn Part 2, and he played Freddie Mercury in Bohemian
Mr.
Rhapsody.
Robot.
Oh, yeah, he's in Mr. Robot.
Until Dawn.
I didn't like Until Dawn.
I loved Until
Those
Dawn.
types of games suck ass, dude. Like the
I
whole
loved it.
dark picture anthology.
I loved watching it.
They're fucking
I never was able
terrible.
to get past like the second chapter because it was too scary.
Absolutely horrible. But anyway, moving on. This movie, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the pros, like I said, the writing is really
Very,
good.
very
This is
good.
more of Not to say that Barbie is not an intellectual or an intelligent movie. This movie very much shows more of the academia process behind the atomic
God,
bomb
it's beautiful.
development,
God, I
and
wish that were me.
that is something that I did not expect going in. I was like, okay, yes, it's going to show how the bomb was made. It's going to show all of the nerd shit behind it and
Yeah.
go into the history of these programs and what eventually would set up the Cold War and to the attitude of nuclear energy we have today, right?
Yeah.
I was expecting more booms. I wanted more explosions. I needed
I
more atomic
loved
bombness.
how much they focused on like the brain part of it. Like I loved how much they were I'm right
No, you're
here.
not, my love. I have the audio monitoring on.
Ugh.
You got to sit back over here. My God, that is 1,000 times better. Um, but yeah, I like that they showed a lot of the big braininess that went into the movie. The writing is great. The dialogue doesn't feel like too dreadful. Like there were some
It isn't
stuff
clunky.
when they got into like actual historic events and like I like the movie. Couldn't tell you the name of a lot of the people that are in there, like the
They kept
characters
on
they
just
portray.
throwing people.
I was
I
like,
swear to God.
Jesus
They just kept on
Christ,
being like,
man.
ah, yep,
The
yep.
pacing is really good. Like for a 3 hour movie, this does not
It
feel
doesn't
like
feel like
three
it
hours.
because you're in the whole time.
Yeah, you're like,
Like
holy
there's
shit.
not a lulling moment. I think it was funny how Albert Einstein was like a fun little like
He's
ah,
just hee hee hoo, right?
literally.
Dude, Robert Downey Jr. the op in this movie
What
though,
if they
man,
were talking
hating
about something
ass,
more important?
right?
Just
The
oh
visuals. This is a visually beautiful movie.
yeah.
I like a lot of the stills that people are posting around from it.
I have one question.
Yeah, what's up?
Why were there so many scenes where it's just Killian Murphy's face just
Because it just shows like so. We'll get in.
okay.
No, we'll get into that right now.
Okay.
So what I think they did when they showed Killian Murphy's face like that, right, is that they're just showing him like he still knows what's going on because like the whole thing, right, is that he's caught up in the moment of it, right?
Yeah.
The like from Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum's here. You were so concerned about whether or not you could, you never stopped to think whether or not you should. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think that he still knows what this exactly will mean because they talk about it, right?
Mhm.
If we don't do it, then Hitler and the Nazis are going to develop this. And, because Oppenheimer was Jewish and a lot of his friends in this movie are Jewish, they're like, this guy's literally going to use it to decimate our people. And honestly,
Yeah, I do
if
it.
I if
Fuck
we
them.
went back in
Fuck
time and
them.
instead
Yeah.
of Jews, you put a bunch of Mexicans there and they came to me, like if I was like a Mexican Oppenheimer and they're
Mhm.
like, bro, you got to make this bomb or else this dude that's already killing your people is going to do it. I was like, I got to slide for my
Yeah.
people,
Done.
dude.
All right.
I will make this bomb and I will blow them the fuck up before they
Yep.
can do it to me, right?
Yep.
Like in a perfect world,
You could
this
argue
weapon would have
self
been used against the
defense,
Nazis.
hypothetical self defense,
Eh, who knows? Um,
preventative measures.
but oh my god, just the stakes that because history's already happened. Unfortunately, we are in a world where the United States has deployed 2 atomic bombs against literally an island,
Yeah.
right? And while it did save lives, it still has left a literal scar on the world through nuclear radiation,
Yep.
generations of deformed babies.
Yep.
And while it may seem like I'm sympathizing with the enemy from that time, because Japan was on some fuck shit themselves, all that biological experimentation they were doing, the
Yeah.
way they
Not
treated
great.
prisoners, just everything that they were doing, right? But like two wrongs don't make a right, like blah 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 blah. I'm not saying they deserve the atomic bombs dropped on them, right? But I'm also not saying that the people that they raped and murdered and experimented on didn't
Yeah.
deserve some type of revenge. If
Yeah.
although if it was through someone else, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just what happened, and this is the type of action that was taken from that very closed-minded racist forms of government around the world, right? Um, but anyway, let's get on to the cons before we get into that
Mhm.
meat potato of the movie. Cons that I have for this movie is that it doesn't deliver on the main presence. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Not the main presence, the main premise.
Okay.
Right? Sorry, I had to cough and I
You're good.
suppressed a
You're
cough.
good.
It doesn't deliver on that. All the trailers like you're gonna see the bomb, you're gonna feel it. That was like the least amount of like rumbling or explosion I've ever
Well,
felt.
we were supposed to see it in IMAX.
I know, but I was tense the whole time waiting. I was like, this is gonna be dope, right?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And I thought we were going to get to see the detonations over Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We didn't get to see those. We just got to hear about them, right? Um, like the
I'm kind of
scene.
glad though.
Are you?
Yes.
You would
One
not have liked
because
it.
I wouldn't have liked it. I wouldn't have been able to stomach it. Like, yes, it happened, but and also it's because it's not what it's about. It's not about
Yeah,
that.
it's
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 about
about the
Oppenheimer's
history.
reaction
Yeah.
to it. It's him really because you saw how like fucking just devastated he was.
Yes.
They said we dropped it. He said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like his speech and how it's
Well, because
showing.
Truman wanted to do it regardless.
Yep,
Truman is just a fucking kid. Like, as U.S. presidents
literally.
go, he is terrible. Like, imagine Trump, but in the 40s, and that's what Truman was
Yep.
basically. He was fucking horrid, horrible. All right, everything that was wrong with leaders in America at that time. Another thing I don't like, the movie seems a bit too sympathetic for Oppenheimer. I I know, right, that it was basically a necessary evil. If it wasn't him, it was going to be someone else, right?
Yes.
And then you also have other of his colleagues at the same time when they just figured out about atoms and how to split them and harness them. Then he was like, well, why can't we do it with particular types of atoms, like the hydrogen bomb, right?
Yeah.
It would have happened eventually. We would have deployed it on some other country. If we didn't get it off in World War II, then maybe they would have listened to MacArthur during the Korean War when he was like, "We need to drop nukes on North Korea." You know what I mean?
Jesus.
They,
Yeah.
no, they absolutely like if it wasn't for like the public outlash that happened in the decade following before the Korean War started, or even less than a decade, they absolutely would have dropped nukes on
Holy shit.
North Korea. I absolutely believe it. Like that was the whole fall of Douglas MacArthur, is that he wanted to push into China, and then when he almost did that, and China caught wind of it and started pushing his shit back in. The U.S. Army was like, "Get him the fuck out of here!" Like,
Yeah. They're like,
it
okay,
literally,
calm
like you know
down.
what I mean? Like, it literally disgraced him, and
Yeah.
that's why the Korean War yielded nothing. We made it across the whole
We did.
peninsula.
Yep.
It would have been one unified career, but this guy was like, we can get China. We can get those dirty fucking communists. And now we have North and South Korea.
The whole thing is nonsensical.
It's
Everybody
terrible.
needs a fucking
But
boogeyman.
I do feel like the movie is a bit too sympathetic for Oppenheimer. Yes, being at the spear point or the forefront of a weapon that at that time was that powerful, because now we have shit that just blows that out of the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like that it did show his ego kind of got the best of him, and then the whole thing where he was cheating on his wife, but the wife that he got cheated on her husband with him,
And
and then
also,
even
she was
then
terrible.
like a drunk, abusive mother. It really showed 40s parenting.
Yeah.
Smoke a cigarette, blow it in the baby's face when they cry, put them in a different room, or give them to the nanny. But anyway, I just think that it should portray him as he is in history, because I still do view him, and I firmly believe that he is a villain, but he's more like a Thanos villain.
Anti-hero.
No, villain. Because
Oh,
he's more like a Thanos
I
villain.
hate Thanos.
No, but think about it. Like, take away the universe thing, right? Look how much the Earth, quote unquote, healed during the 2 years of lockdown.
Yeah.
How much pollution went down, how many animals were able to go back into their spaces, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? How much the earth healed in that short amount of time.
Yeah.
Imagine how much more of that there would be if half of the earth's population was gone. We're at 8 billion now.
Nope, that was false.
No,
China
it's
has
up
been
to
no
8.
China was
No, it's up to
exaggerating.
8 now. It was only off by a few 100,000. Now we're officially at 8. Over
Jesus.
8 now.
The earth can only sustain 9.
Theoretically, with current farming practices. That's why you want
Mm.
vertical farming. But anyway, imagine how much better off everything would be with only 4 billion.
Yeah.
It'd be that much better. But it still sucks because that means 4 billion people got to go,
Yeah.
right? So that's the same thing with Oppenheimer that I see. Did he know what he was doing would be used against people eventually? Yes.
I think that he was
Did he
hoping
know the destructive power of it? Yes. But yeah, he was hoping
that they
that
wouldn't.
it wouldn't come to
He was
that. That's
hoping
why,
that them seeing the detonation
yeah.
and him like being like,
Or that'd be
"Hey,
used against like
yeah,
people he thought it, because he wasn't really invested in the Pacific Theater of the war. His main focus was on how it was going to be used against the Nazis. And understandably so, because at the time, those were the people killing his
And
people,
I
his
liked
family members,
I
his
liked how they
friends.
showed when he was studying over there.
Yeah,
How like him and what's his face,
there
like
was
they were both
already
talking about
tension,
how like they're like, "Do you feel like super not like?"
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I really like that because it shows that he was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go. Like fuck these
fly
fucking
back to
people."
America,
Yeah,
right?
no.
Oh my god, didn't he try to poison his teacher? His grandson apparently wants that taken out of
Because it was
future versions of the movie.
conjecture.
Yeah. Hey, listen. With his ego, I'm not surprised. I do the same thing too. Like,
Little light Yagami looking ass.
you ain't about to embarrass me in front of the entire lab and then make me clean up after these people. Jenkins is over here fat fingering his Bunsen burners and spilling hydrochloric acid everywhere. I'm not cleaning that shit up,
Literally.
right? Um,
I loved
I
all the
did.
college
I
stuff.
like. Yeah, that's what I thought college would be
That's how
like.
I would be such an academic.
Oh my god!
Oh my
Imagine how
god.
easy life would be to get a college degree like that.
Imagine how well you'd learn.
Oh my
Like
god!
imagine how amazingly you would learn in that
And
environment.
college was free.
Oh, nope.
It was still free at this point.
Oh,
Remember?
because
Because
only
it
white
didn't.
people.
No, but it also
Ah.
didn't start. Remember? Well, yeah, because of that. But I mean, like even after segregation, public college was free.
Well, that's why they
But it
raised
wasn't until
tuition.
the Vietnam protests and the
Civil rights movement.
in the civil rights movement. But the civil rights movement is what allowed, the integration on these college campuses. But old crotchety white people were still figuring out a way to get the poors and the blacks and the Mexicans and the
Yep.
Asians out, right?
Yep.
And so they're like, what are these people doing? Oh, they're protesting this war that we don't give a fuck about if anyone likes or doesn't, because we just want that sweet opium trade, right? And what are we going to do? We're going to murder all these college students.
Yep.
And that's literally what happened. The U.S. murdered a bunch of college students that
Yep.
were protesting the war. And then Reagan, as a punishment, you're like, you know what? Now college costs money for everyone,
Yep.
which doesn't affect the rich white people that he's
Nope.
friends with or that in
It
power. It
wasn't
just affects
designed to.
poor white people.
Yep.
And then poor everybody else because we're already poor. You know what I mean? But this is what I thought college would be like.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed going to VC and learning that it's just high school, but I'm paying money.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's fucking awful. It just drained me. But with that being said, my favorite scene,
Ooh.
because like I said, this movie doesn't deliver on its big explosion premise.
Okay.
Christopher Nolan, 11 miles of film for fucking what?
Right.
I like that when he gives his speech after the bombing of Japan, when the war's over,
Yes.
and it shows him like it's fully setting in, like the rumbling, right? Like the rumbling on the bleachers when they make that
Oh
thunder,
my
you know what I mean? That
God.
was louder than the explosion of the fucking bomb,
Yep.
right? But I like because it shows him actually coming to true grips, because the moment's over, the adrenaline's over. He now just knows what his actions have caused.
Well, it's also him
And the
thinking,
dread that sets in, and
yep,
he's hallucinating the
but he
dead
knows
body
what he
there.
needs to say.
Yeah.
He knows what he's supposed to say.
Yeah.
He knows that he will get hurt.
The show must go on.
Yep. And that's just like you can see him gauging and saying like these out of pocket fucking things just because he knows that's what they want him to say.
Yeah.
And that's
And we've
well,
all been in
as
situations like that.
neurodivergent person, I can relate to the feeling of like you know what you have to say, even if you don't agree with it. It's cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
And I just, oh my God, like my favorite scenes were the ones, literally, the college campus ones, right?
Yeah.
And also the ones, because it showed how a panic attack feels.
Yes.
Like it perfectly. Like when they were doing the fucking hearing thing.
Yeah.
And they were like, he was just shouting at him, and his vision was going white. Obviously, because of explosion, but your vision was
Honestly,
going white.
I like
and he couldn't hear at his face.
I like Iron Man's 3
And that
better.
was exactly, oh, that one was the best one.
Iron Man
but this
3
was still
Panic
good,
Attacks,
though.
but yes, but I always compare it to Iron Man because I was like, damn, that was pretty dope. Because what I think, because Robert Downey Jr. in that scene as Iron Man has a kid that he has to keep calm for, because panic attacks unfortunately happen mostly in public settings,
Yeah.
and you're around people that you have to kind of keep calm for, or they're gonna freak
Yeah.
out. And that just makes it that much worse. But speaking of Iron Man, dude, he was such a little bitch in this fucking movie,
I
dude.
thought that it was amazing, though. He made me hate him.
Bro,
I can't hate
the whole thing where
Robert Downey
he's playing
Jr.
chess, everyone else is playing checkers.
Yeah.
Remy Malek really said fuck it and just flipped the board.
Yeah, he said, all right, scientists together strong, bitch.
Right.
I loved that.
But I did enjoy that scene, like, and it does give a very good representation of what was going on, though. My least favorite scene was the test detonation. And I don't understand how you can spend all this time hyping up the movie, hyping up this main point, read the first official atomic detonation from the Trinity program. I was tense as fuck. Everyone on TikTok was like, that shit caught me off guard. That shit was weak, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did we see the same fucking movie? Like, I know some of y'all, like, more well-off people, or people that are closer to the actual, like, the 70 millimeter IMAX theaters, the 4D
Yeah.
XD, whatever the fuck you want to call it, probably got a better experience. But, like, what the hell, dude?
I don't know.
What the fuck? I was so disappointed. I was actually kind of disappointed. I thought about giving this movie a lower score.
Wow. My least favorite scene was where they had Florence Pugh riding Killian just in the middle of the
That was
conversation.
pretty funny.
That what purpose did that serve? Like I get like yeah, like she's making eye contact with his wife because it's like
It's supposed to give credit.
Look, it's me.
It's
There's
supposed
no
to
need for that.
It's supposed to give credit to Emily Blunt's character. Well, even though he did her dirty, she still stood up for him. But everyone's like, she carried the movie. She had like 4 lines, which that the movie
She was
doesn't
fucking
really
horrific the whole time.
movie
She
doesn't
was
really
a
pass the
deadbeat,
Bechdel test.
drunk.
But yeah,
Fuck off.
just
I hated
awful.
her.
And she didn't really care about it. She's like, they're gonna take our house.
That's literally
She only cares about her.
She did not give a fuck that it was affecting him.
Like, they're both shitty people, but then
Yeah.
she expected like the marriage and life to be okay. Like, no, you're both terrible people. You're gonna have a terrible fucking
Bitch,
life.
I would have cheated on you too.
Oh my
The
God.
fuck?
But with that being said,
Yeah.
I didn't very much care for the the trial or the hearing thing, right? Like it was pretty cool, but it was just too
I
every
didn't
time
like
they went
it.
to that, I was like, just go back to the actual movie. And why are Robert Downey Jr.'s the only ones in black and white? I don't understand.
Oh no, it's because it's that was while stuff was in the future, and then once we caught up, it was then
Why is the
color.
future black and white?
I feel like they really, really wanted to do like like the old like silent movie things where it gives you like the
Yeah, it just
back then, like
it
then,
kind of it
now,
kind of broke up
then,
my immersion.
now. Yeah, it's. I understand what was trying to be accomplished. I understand that it's a very difficult task.
Yeah,
I think that with a multi-billion-dollar, like multi-million-dollar budget, with a
you could find a better way
director
to do
worth
it.
millions, cinematographer worth millions,
You could find a better way.
literally.
I don't know. Like my immersion wasn't broken when they were going to the private hearing to renew his security clearance and stuff like that, but it was broken when they went to the Senate hearing between Robert Downey Jr. when he was going to get elected on the thing. And because I don't know shit about that point of history about the Atomic Energy Commission,
Hmm.
when he was denied, I was like, yes,
Yeah,
I was
fuck
actually
him.
happy. But
JFK,
all in all,
JFK.
right? And no, and like, and that the conspiracy theorist in me was set up when he was like some young senator from Massachusetts trying to make a name for himself. It's Robert Kennedy, and
Yup.
I was like, oh, he was making
They had to
enemies.
kill him quick.
They had to
They
kill him.
had to kill
The
him
world would
quick.
be a different. The world is already a different place because of
They had to
JFK.
kill all the Kennedys.
Oh no, I said Robert Kennedy, huh? No,
You
it's
did.
John.
Yeah.
John Fitzgerald Kennedy. The world is already a different place, dude. JFK, as much as a fucking playboy as he was, he is the reason that we didn't all get bombed to shit.
Yup.
He really saw the Cuban Missile Crisis and all those bloodthirsty generals were like, we got to do a
He
preemptive
said, "Y'all
strike.
need to calm
And he
down."
said, no.
He said, "Have you considered chilling?"
And then nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then absolutely nothing happened. And we got a kick ass storyline in Black Ops about it.
Woo!
But anyway, all in all, my love, what would you rate this movie? This movie that, honestly, at the end of the day, perfectly balances, although while it seems a bit too sympathetic for Oppenheimer, it perfectly balances how ethics still plays a role in like engineering and chemistry and all that, because that's what, the main meme where it's like engineering graduates going to make, the kill bomb destroyer 9000 for millions of dollars, right? And now I'm not saying that we need more ethics in today's thing. In fact, probably need about the same amount
Okay.
as
Yeah.
was back then. You thought I was going to say less, huh?
I did.
um, but I don't know. This movie balances it perfectly. It can show that someone doing a really evil, shitty thing can still feel remorseful while still being a fucking villain. This man is still a historical villain.
You're gonna think I'm silly.
Oh my!
I can't decide between an 8 or a 9 out of 10.
An 8 or a 9. I give this movie a 10.
I can't.
It's
I can't
another
pick
10
between
for
8 or
me.
a 9.
Why?
I don't know. It isn't.
If we had seen this first, would you have rated it higher?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
But you got to pick
9.
9. Why?
9. It. There were parts of it that I just straight up didn't like. And also though, like just when I try to feel
Yeah.
what the rating is, like in my heart,
Yeah.
9.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said like I had to put my initial emotional reaction to the side after being disappointed by the main selling point of the movie.
Yeah.
Um, but the dialogue and everything that happens afterwards, because after the main explosion it's just more so you see the start of the Cold War. You get to see how the United States chews up and spits out people, while in the moment they praise them, and then at the end they're like, why would you do that? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because remember when they were asking Matt Damon's character, they're like, given what you know now, would you renew his security clearance? And he was like, well, given that these rules and guidelines weren't in place and we were in active war,
Yeah.
um
And you guys were pushing for
yeah.
me.
He's like, at the time, yes, I would still hire him. It's like, would you renew his security clearance now? He's like, well, given new guidelines and new information and blah, blah, blah. He's like, I wouldn't, right? He's like, you're not going to fucking trap me. And as someone who had a lot of disciplinary action, although none of it official,
Yeah.
but still, was it like 6105s, like negative reviews and stuff like that? That is stuff that they ask you, like that they try to get you to basically like self snitch or like self incriminate, or they ask you like trap questions basically, you know
Jesus.
what I mean? It's so fucking, like, the whole time I saw I was like, damn, I was like, I can't, like, that's what it's like going, like, it doesn't change. The way they still talk shit about you doesn't change even though it's at a higher level. Oh my god, it's fucking terrible. But also Truman was hilarious in the movie because he's just a shit ass
Get that
fucking
fucking
president.
crybaby out of here.
Yeah, and I just said every day that he's dead is a blessing upon everyone in this
Woohoo.
fucking thing, right? Like, literally, he just wanted to use it because he just saw them as toys.
Yep.
He literally just saw them as toys. He's like, I dropped it twice,
If
right?
you're a wealthy, rich,
He's out here just dunking the button.
if you're a wealthy white man in the 40s, You have no conception of empathy, of intersectionality, of other people existing.
Nope.
Literally, he was like mentally incapable.
It's Trump, but in the 40s.
Mm.
Anyway, I give this movie a 10 out of 10.
Woo!
And you give this a movie
9 out of
a
10.
9 out of 10. That is our rating. Hopefully, this audio doesn't corrupt again. And we will see you guys next week for our
Yay!
regular podcast episode. Make sure, if you've made it this far, give us a like, leave us a comment, give us a rating on Spotify, subscribe to us, follow us.
Tell us what you thought of the
Yeah,
movies.
we want to hear some of your guys' thoughts. I've been talking to your cousin about what he thought about the movie. We've been going a bit back
I
and
haven't
forth
been
about it.
talking to my cousin.
But anyway, see you guys next time. We out.
Bye!